For number 21, this will go with Unit 11. It says find the area of a trapezoid. There is extra information given. So what I did for this page is I went ahead and wrote out all the formulas that you will need. So it's just easier to find those, label those on the picture, and then be able to plug them in. So first we have our height, and then our bases, and this would be our extra information. Okay, so we're just going to plug this in. So we've got area equals 1/2 times 4 times 4 plus 7. Okay, 4 plus 7 gives us 11. And if we multiply, we get 44. So half of 44 gives us 22 inches squared. For finding the area of a kite, it's 1/2 times diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. Down here you see that we're given your two diagonals, PR and QS. So it's just a matter of plugging in. So if I multiply those together, we get 247, and then half of that would be 123.5 inches squared. For number 23, it says find the area of a regular pentagon. This should not say pentagon. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sides. So it's a septagon, or you could call it a heptagon. So if we know that the number of sides is 7, then, okay, our apothem would be 6.2. For the perimeter, we have 7 sides, and the side length is 6. So now I'm going to multiply these together, the 6.276, and that gives me 260.4. If I divide that by 2, taking a half, we would get 130.2 centimeters squared. For number 24, to find the circumference of a circle, we're given the diameter of 14. So I would just plug the 14 into this formula. Either one represents circumference, but given diameter, I would just use the first one. And we're using 3.14 for pi, so if I multiply those together, we get 43.96 inches. For number 25, the angle measure is 130. So that's what that little symbol is, your angle that we're dealing with here. So we're finding this part right here of the area. So the angle would be 130 because it's the same as the arc. So 130 divided by 360 times pi times 8 squared. So now we know that 8 squared is 64. So I would do 64. I'll work it out here. Okay. So I would do 64 times 130. We divide that by 360, and then we would times that by 3.14. And I get 72.56, but that rounds to 72.6. I still need to put squared on there because it is area. Okay, now at 26, this would start unit 12. So I'm going to plug in my radius of my sphere to find the volume here. I just went ahead and listed those formulas for you guys to make it a little bit easier. So we've got volume equals 4/3 pi 12 cubed. Okay, 12 to the 3rd power is 1728. So I would multiply that by that 4 divide it by 3, and then multiply by 3.14. And it says round, so I'm going to have to round to 0.6. Okay, for 27, surface area, 2 pi r is 4, and the height is 20, plus 2 pi r squared, so 4 squared. So to simplify this, 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 20 would be 160. 4 squared would be 16 times 2 is 32, and then I got pi. So if I add those together, 160 and 32 pi, we get 192 pi. Obviously, that's 3.14. If I multiply that, we get 602.88 centimeters squared. Okay, for 28, gotta find the volume. So that's pretty simple. We're just doing length times width times height. Alright, so if I multiply those together, we get 384. Okay, 2 more for 29. Finding the surface area of a square pyramid. Alright, so now we've got 1/2 times the perimeter. So the perimeter is a square, so there's 4 sides, and they're all 14 feet long, and then times the slant height of 16. Now the area of the base would be side squared, so 14 times 14, or 14 squared. And if we multiply 4, 14, and 16, we get 896. 14 squared is 196. So I'm going to take half of 896 and add that to 196 to get a total of 644 feet squared. Alright, last, in this particular cone you're given some extra information. Since we're finding the volume, you only need your height and your radius. So here we're given the diameter. So we would say that our radius is half, which is 10. Our height is this 20.7, and that's our slant height, which we don't need at this time. So I'm going to plug them in. Alright, so if I multiply 20.7 times 100, we get 2070. Divided by 3, we're getting 690 pi. But of course, multiply that by 3.14, and we get 2,166.6 kilometers cubed.